Get the overnight bag. Where is the overnight bag?
I have it. I'm just checking it. Here's the birth plan.
God!
Just breathe. Just breathe.
Yes!
Breathe.
No, John, I need to poop.
No, it's the baby. Okay, don't poop. It's not poop. It's the baby.
Oh God, I need the drugs.
The film opens with a beautiful high school teacher browsing the internet with a serious expression on her face. This woman is the main character, Samantha. With a tinge of worry, Samantha is focused on searching for articles about the signs of pregnancy. By the way, Samantha works as both a teacher and a homeroom advisor at a school where most of the students are African American. Despite being of a different race, Samantha is a kind, exemplary teacher who is beloved by her students. During her lunch break, Samantha stops by a convenience store to buy a pregnancy test kit. She has been feeling anxious about the possibility lately. Later, she uses the test kit in the school restroom, dipping it into her urine. When she sees the result, she mutters just one word. After school, Samantha continues to surf the internet, digging through articles to confirm the signs of pregnancy. At one point, she even fills out a questionnaire on a website she comes across. Not long after, a man named John arrives. John is Samantha's boyfriend. As soon as John sits beside her, Samantha suddenly bursts into tears and confesses that she's pregnant. However, she admits she's been trying to deny the reality of her situation. John, being the supportive boyfriend, immediately tries to comfort her. A few days later, one morning, Samantha is caught completely off guard, yet overwhelmed with happiness when John surprises her. John presents her with a ring symbolizing his proposal to make her his lifelong partner. At first, Samantha warns John not to propose to her just because she's pregnant, but John assures her that his decision is firm and he has long dreamt of building a family with her. Overwhelmed by emotion, Samantha can't hold back her tears of joy. Later that day, John takes Samantha to a church for an engagement ceremony. Afterward, they visit Samantha's mother at her home. There, the couple shares the happy news of their engagement. Samantha's mother is overjoyed to hear it. However, her mother's smile fades once they mention their plan to temporarily stay at her house. Tensions rise slightly when Samantha tells her mother that in a few months she will no longer be working as a teacher. This is because the school where she teaches is set to close down for reasons unknown. Meanwhile, back in the classroom, an argument breaks out between two of Samantha's students, triggered by one of them teasing the other. After successfully breaking up the fight and calming the class down, Samantha suddenly vomits in front of her students. Fortunately, the school bell rings shortly after, signaling the end of the day. A few days later, Samantha overhears a conversation between two of her fellow teachers discussing a pregnancy. However, it's not Samantha's pregnancy they're talking about. Instead, they're gossiping about one of Samantha's students, a girl named Jasmine. Lately, several science and biology teachers at the school have started to suspect that Jasmine is hiding a pregnancy. Not long after Samantha decides to call Jasmine in for a private conversation. As expected, during their one-on-one talk, Jasmine eventually admits to being pregnant after Samantha gently yet firmly encourages her to tell the truth. Jasmine's pregnancy is now in its 10th week, equivalent to about 2 months. Samantha is deeply disappointed to hear this news because Jasmine is one of the most outstanding students at the school. In fact, she's the top performer in her class, standing out among her peers. Unsure of the proper procedures to handle a pregnant student, Samantha quickly reports Jasmine's situation to the assistant principal. Meanwhile, Jasmine is seen walking home on foot. She comes from a modest, financially struggling family. She lives with several siblings in her grandmother's house, where her grandmother has been raising her since she was a child. Upon entering her bedroom, Jasmine notices old photographs from her childhood, sparking memories of simpler times. The next day, Jasmine informs Miss Samantha of her decision. She plans to keep and raise her baby. Samantha is surprised by Jasmine's choice. Initially, she had assumed Jasmine might opt for either an abortion or adoption. However, Samantha urges Jasmine to remain focused on her education even while being pregnant. Samantha believes that Jasmine deserves the same educational opportunities as other teenagers her age, especially given her incredible academic potential. Determined to help, Samantha begins searching for universities with dormitory facilities suitable for Jasmine. During this time, Jasmine expresses her dream of attending the University of Illinois. Samantha wholeheartedly agrees and supports Jasmine's aspirations to study at Illinois, as it's the same university where Samantha earned her degree. However, Jasmine admits she's unsure whether she'll be able to handle college life while pregnant. Samantha reassures her, encouraging Jasmine not to let her pregnancy hold her back from achieving her dreams and reminding her of her remarkable abilities. Samantha promises to do whatever it takes to support and guide Jasmine. Eventually, Jasmine learns that Samantha is also pregnant as her teacher's belly has started to visibly grow. One day, Samantha invites Jasmine to join her for a prenatal yoga class. The two of them enjoy their time together, bonding during the sessions. During the class, they participate in exercises designed to help expectant mothers connect with their babies. It's during this moment that Samantha begins to worry as she realizes she hasn't felt any movement from her baby at all. That evening, after the yoga class, Samantha drives Jasmine home. While in the car, they share a heartfelt conversation about their future dreams. Samantha reveals her ambition of becoming a teacher who designs science curricula for schools throughout the city. Meanwhile, Jasmine shares her dream of becoming a successful businesswoman with a glamorous lifestyle. Later that night, Samantha talks to John about her desire to apply for a new job once she stops teaching. John, however, disagrees with her plan, believing it's too rushed. He wants her to focus on becoming a stay-at-home mom and fully embrace the joys of motherhood without worrying about work. A few days later, Samantha has her first prenatal checkup. When the ultrasound wand is placed on her growing belly, the doctor quickly identifies the baby's position and movement, giving her some much-needed reassurance. The moment Samantha saw her baby on the ultrasound monitor, tears of joy streamed down her face. She hadn't expected the ultrasound to provide such a clear image of her baby, especially since her belly wasn't that large yet. Days passed and Samantha continued her duties as a teacher, all while carrying the growing weight of her pregnancy wherever she went. Jasmine, whose belly was now visibly larger, often found time to help her teacher clean the science equipment. One day, Samantha expressed her desire to meet Jasmine's boyfriend. When Jasmine obliged and introduced her boyfriend Travis to Samantha, he appeared extremely shy and awkward in her presence. Fast forward, and Samantha's pregnancy had reached the 6-month mark. She began struggling to fit into her favorite pants, which she used to wear comfortably. Reluctantly, she resorted to using a rubber band to fasten the button of her zipper temporarily. Realizing she needed more comfortable clothes, Samantha quickly asked John to buy her some new maternity pants. Meanwhile, Jasmine had secured a job as a cashier at a local store. Despite her job, she still found time to study diligently, fueled by her excitement to get into the university that she and her beloved teacher Samantha had been striving for together. One day, Jasmine grew upset with Travis when he refused to accompany her to a routine prenatal checkup. Instead, Travis left Jasmine alone at the clinic and went off to have fun with his friends. During the appointment, Jasmine asked the doctor not to reveal the baby's gender. She wanted it to remain a surprise for both herself and Travis. One evening, Samantha was browsing the internet, searching for job openings. Despite John's earlier disapproval, she was determined to apply for a position at a museum. Fortunately, she had a connection there, someone she knew who worked at the museum. In the end, Samantha secretly submitted her application without informing John. One afternoon, after returning home from school, Samantha was pleasantly surprised to find John decorating a room in their house. He had gone to great lengths to create a beautiful nursery for their baby. A few days later, Samantha received a call for an interview at the museum. She was thrilled, but her excitement wasn't shared by Jasmine, who had been dealing with her frustrations toward Travis. Jasmine confided in Samantha about Travis's irresponsible behavior, his frequent drinking with friends, skipping work, and overall lack of maturity in handling her pregnancy. Samantha didn't have much advice to offer, but instead gave Jasmine a warm and loving hug, a gesture of support from a teacher who cared deeply for her student. One day, the school's teachers gathered all of Jasmine's classmates for an announcement. The principal revealed the list of students who had been accepted into their dream universities. While some of Jasmine's classmates received acceptance letters, she was not among them. Disheartened, Jasmine sat in silence, feeling as though all her hard work had been for nothing. But when she arrived home, her sadness turned into joy. There, waiting for her, was a package containing an acceptance letter from the University of Illinois, the very university she and Miss Samantha had worked so hard for. The next morning, Jasmine excitedly shared the good news with Samantha. Not long after the day of Samantha's job interview at the museum arrived. The interview started smoothly. The HR manager was highly impressed with her resume and credentials. However, Samantha's chances of landing the job hit a snag. Her due date was uncomfortably close to the start date of her new job, raising concerns about her availability during those crucial initial weeks of work. The HR representative at the museum explained that if Samantha were to be offered the position, she would need to start working in early August. Meanwhile, Samantha's baby was expected to be born in mid-July. It would all depend on whether Samantha was willing to accept the opportunity despite the timing. After the interview ended, Samantha felt deeply frustrated. She regretted applying for a job she ultimately couldn't take due to the conflicting timeline with her due date. Her frustration spilled over, and without realizing it, she blurted out her complaints to John, inadvertently revealing her secret job application. John was disappointed that Samantha had applied for a job without consulting him. This led to an argument between the two, with both exchanging heated words. In truth, Samantha had misunderstood John's intentions. John wasn't trying to force her to stay at home as a full-time housewife after their baby was born. He merely wanted her to take a well-deserved break and recover after childbirth. However, Samantha's already sour mood clouded her understanding, and she stormed out of the room, leaving John behind. Later that night, the tension lingered. Even as they shared the same bed, neither of them spoke to the other, their silence heavier than words. The next day, Samantha picked up Jasmine to take her to visit the University of Illinois. During the car ride, Jasmine, in her usual candid manner, caused Samantha to feel nauseous. She had brought along a bizarre snack, pickle juice poured over Cheetos. The overpowering smell of the odd combination forced Samantha to pull the car over, urging Jasmine to throw it away immediately. Reluctantly, they discarded the snack by the roadside. Once they arrived at the University of Illinois, they walked around taking in the atmosphere of the campus. However, an unexpected obstacle arose when they met with the university's administration office. Jasmine's pregnancy meant she was ineligible to stay in the on-campus dormitories. Although the university did provide housing for students, their policy explicitly excluded pregnant individuals from utilizing these facilities. If Jasmine wanted to attend this university, she would need to find off-campus housing, which would significantly increase her expenses. Disappointed by the university's decision, Jasmine abruptly left the office feeling utterly discouraged. She began to lose hope, overwhelmed by the thought that all her hard work might have been in vain. Determined not to let Jasmine's dreams crumble, Samantha continued to encourage her to pursue her education. She urged Jasmine to accept financial aid from the school and look for housing near the campus. but there was a catch. This arrangement would require Jasmine to leave her baby in the care of her grandmother so she could focus on her studies. Jasmine outright rejected the idea. She firmly declared that she could not bear to be apart from her baby, not even for a few seconds. Her resolute statement left Samantha stunned and reflective. Samantha had not anticipated such maturity from a 17-year-old girl. Jasmine's words also struck a nerve. Samantha couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt, especially as she remembered how she had recently been considering leaving her own baby to prioritize her career. After a lengthy and emotional argument, Samantha and Jasmine drove back to Jasmine's home in an awkward silence. Neither of them spoke a word, the tension in the car palpable, each lost in their own thoughts. Even upon arriving at their destination, neither Samantha nor Jasmine spoke a word. Despite the lingering awkwardness and silence, Samantha still kindly handed Jasmine a small packet of bread for a snack. As the day grew darker and they finally reached Jasmine's house, Jasmine decided to open up about her painful past with her birth mother. Jasmine revealed that she and her siblings were born into a troubled family. Her parents divorced when she and her siblings were still very young. The situation worsened when her mother, plagued by poverty, was forced into prostitution just to make ends meet right in front of her children. Every day, Jasmine would see different men coming in and out of their home. One day, upon returning from school, she found all their belongings thrown out onto the street. She was left to sleep on the floor without electricity for 6 months. Eventually, her grandmother stepped in to rescue Jasmine and her siblings, taking them under her care. Jasmine didn't share her story to gain sympathy from Samantha. Instead, she wanted Samantha to understand her determination to be a better mother than the one she had experienced. For Jasmine, that meant putting aside everything else, whether it was studying or working, to focus on her child. As Jasmine stepped out of Samantha's car, Samantha was overcome with emotion. She couldn't hold back her tears, moved by Jasmine's resilience and guilt-ridden for her own recent selfishness. When Samantha got home, she poured her heart out to her mother. She admitted feeling regret for ever considering leaving her baby after birth just to chase her career aspirations. Her mother, however, had a different perspective. She confessed that when Samantha was a baby, she too had struggled with the same anxiety. Despite prioritizing her career, she always put Samantha's well-being above everything else. There were even times when she risked losing her job by taking frequent leaves of absence to care for a sick Samantha. Her mother explained that whether Samantha chose to be a stay-at-home mom or a career woman, the most important thing was to always shower her child with love and affection. After receiving wisdom from both Jasmine and her own mother, Samantha finally decided to have an intimate conversation with John. Samantha told him she had decided to turn down the museum job and focus on raising their child. John was delighted to hear this, but Samantha, still holding on to her dream of having a career someday, asked John to promise that he would fully support her professional aspirations once their child was older. They agreed to always support one another moving forward. Soon after the last day of school arrived, students exchanged heartfelt goodbyes as they prepared to go their separate ways. Later that afternoon, Samantha began experiencing severe pain in her abdomen. While they were in the car on their way to the hospital, Samantha suddenly asked John to pull over, insisting she needed to relieve herself immediately. However, John, who had been on edge the entire time, refused her request. He was convinced that what she felt wasn't the urge to use the restroom, but the baby preparing to come out. Thankfully, Samantha managed to hold on until they arrived at the hospital. The doctors, confident that her pregnancy was progressing normally, decided against performing a cesarean section. With immense effort and through unbearable pain, Samantha gave birth naturally to a healthy, adorable baby. The baby received its first taste of breast milk shortly after being born. A few months after giving birth, Samantha attended Jasmine's birthday party at her home. Jasmine's grandmother warmly welcomed Samantha and immediately invited her inside to join the celebration. There she reunited with Jasmine, whose belly had grown noticeably larger. Samantha, being the only white woman at the gathering, mingled effortlessly with Jasmine's relatives and friends, showing no hesitation in blending into the lively crowd. Travis, Jasmine's boyfriend, was also present at the event. Jasmine then began unwrapping the gifts one by one, all thoughtfully brought by her loved ones. Since she was soon to become a mother, most of the presents were baby items, clothes, supplies, and essentials. While Samantha and Jasmine sat down for a one-on-one conversation, the two women exchanged heartfelt apologies for the misunderstandings that had occurred between them in the past. Samantha apologized for pressuring Jasmine to enroll at the University of Illinois. Jasmine, in turn, expressed regret for making her teacher's efforts seem like they had been in vain. However, Jasmine shared some good news with Samantha. She had secretly applied to a private university located not far from her grandmother's home. Although it wasn't her dream university, this choice allowed her to return home every day to care for her baby. Samantha felt an overwhelming sense of pride in her beloved student's wise decision.